Hey guys, what we have here today is a Sig P238. This is the Sig's ultra compact 380, modeled after the Colt Mustang, and we're going to go ahead and safety check this thing first. Magazine's empty, chamber's empty, good to go. So this gun, like I said, is chambered 380. And is a fantastic option for anybody who's interested in concealed carry. I don't personally carry, but someday, who knows. It's got beautiful night sights on it, and these are probably some of the best sights you're ever going to see on a small gun like this. The barrel is very short, 2.5 inches maybe. Someone will correct me, I'm sure, but somewhere in that range. And it's pretty much very similar to a typical 1911 style gun, and that's what attracted me to it the most. It's got the thumb safety up here, which functions very similar to a 1911 with one major difference. If the hammer is back on this gun and the safety is engaged, you could actually rack the slide, okay, which is really interesting as far as if you want to keep one in the chamber. So you load up your mag, pop it in, boom, you chamber around, pop the mag out, put the additional round in there. Now you're good to go. You're cocked and locked with one in the chamber. With the typical 1911, with the safety engaged, it locks up the entire slide. So you couldn't do that. The only way to chamber around in a standard 1911 setup is to be very careful you don't have your finger on the trigger when you're doing it, because you're chambering it while it's hot. This gun, we could dry fire. It's got a little bit of a take-up, and it's got a heavy brake, or heavy trigger, and it brakes pretty crisp. Now, if the hammer is not cocked and the safety is on, you can't rack the slide. You'll notice you cannot rack the slide like that. So, safety has to be off, hammer down, and thumb safety up. Alternatively, you could do it like this. So, let's say here's the condition of the gun. You want to have one in the chamber. You can take the safety off, cock it, safety back on, load up the mag, and then get your one in the chamber, and then pull the mag out and put one more round in the mag. So you could completely load this gun without ever being in jeopardy of negligent discharge, which shouldn't happen anyway. Just keep your finger off the trigger, everything should be smooth. This particular gun, I have this is a pinky extension magazine. It's a Sig factory magazine. It doesn't come with the gun, but you can buy it as an aftermarket part. It's a little expensive, about 40 bucks, and it provides that little extra room for that pinky. Without that extension, with the flush mag, which I don't have with me right now, you can get good 2 fingers on it, and it still feels very good. But with that pinky extension, it feels fantastic. In addition to that, you get an extra round. I believe that's a 7+1 now versus a 6+1 with the flush mag. So whatever you want to do, it's up to you, obviously. But I really prefer this. It just gives you a little bit better feel at the range. And then we're going to go ahead and take it down real quick. And it comes down like most 1911s. Magazine out, and you line up the slide stop with the notch, which is kind of hard to do in a video. You pull that lug out. Oops, you want to keep that safety on. And slide pops forward. There's the frame. The reason why you want to keep the safety on is because there's a little tiny ball bearing behind that safety. I'm not going to show you right now, but the owner's manual instructs you to keep the safety engaged while you're disassembling the pistol, because that little ball bearing can pop right out of the frame, and if that happens, you got a problem, because then your safety is not going to have the positive lock. So I'll show, after I finish putting it back together, I'll show you the little ball bearing I'm talking about, see if we can get a close-up. But here's the frame. I believe it's an aluminum alloy. It's very light gun overall, 15 ounces or something like that. And here's the slide assembly. It's almost like any other 1911 I've ever taken apart. Here's the spring. It's not a captured spring system, it's a guide rod with the spring. The spring, it doesn't matter which end you put onto the guide rod. It's a universal spring or whatever. And then it doesn't have a swivel lug, it just has the fixed lug hole. And then to take it out, you just take it out like you would like on a Glock or something like this. So you got the slide, the lug, the spring and the guide rod, and then the barrel. So there's the feed ramp on it. Now some people have been having problems with the feed ramps on these guns. That shouldn't be on there. I'm pretty good at cleaning my guns. Obviously I missed a spot there. But there's the feed ramp. Some people polish that feed ramp up to make it easier to feed ammunition. The only problem I've had was when I first got it, and even now, it doesn't really like the... So here, we'll put this back together before I start talking about that. I can't chew gum and walk at the same time. So we'll do that, and then reassembly. Slide back onto the rails. When you reassemble it, I believe this is the ejector, you got to push that down to clear the slide. And then you're going to line up the lug hole. See how it's lined up right there? It's off here and it's off there. You want to line it up. So you hold the slide back with your finger, line it up, put the lug in, avoid the idiot scratch, get the slide stop into position, line up that little tiny crescent right there and snap it in. And you're good to go. All back in service. On this gun, I did have some problems, and I still do have the occasional problem. Once in a while, you'll come across 380 ammo. That's the truncated cone or the flat-nosed. It looks like a miniature 40 caliber round, basically. So with that stuff, what would happen is the round would nosedive. The round would nosedive when I try to put it in the battery, right into the bottom of the feed ramp there. Round ball ammunition, you know, the round nose stuff. No problems, but hollow points and truncated cone wouldn't really it would have problem jamming up on the first round. If you can get that first round to wiggle in, the remaining 7 rounds, no problems. So it's something I think that maybe the feed ramp should be polished a little bit more, possibly, or maybe the gun just needs to be broken in a little bit more. I've only got about 400 or 500 rounds through it, so I wouldn't even say it was fully broken in yet. But it shoots very sweet. And it's pretty accurate for a little tiny gun like this, for me anyway. And I love it, and I would highly recommend it. It's a little pricey, but anything high quality is going to be pricey. That's just the way life is. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, I'll see you later.